The AZ Wildcats podcast, joined by the boss, Saul Bookman. We have Jacob Franklin behind the scenes. Saul, I need to file a restraining order against Jacob Franklin. He texted me before 7 o'clock today. I did not like that at all. You might want to talk to him about the employee handbook.
No, Jacob. No.
That was not appreciated. Actually, it was very appreciated. But, all right, we got a lot to get through this show. We got the boss in here coming to you. Where are you coming to us from, boss?
From the old crib.
Oh, from the house, Saul. Very nice house.
I have to throw down some barbecue and bring it to an event tonight. So
you deserve that. Now, speaking of events, what do we have going on at PHNX? There's all kinds of events going on.
We got a Suns watch party on Friday at Gila River at Wild Horse Pass. So come out and check that out. It'll be game 3 of the Suns. Hopefully they'll be 1-1. And then we have a Coyotes event tomorrow night, which is we're already at over 150 people. All donations go to the Arizona Cachinas. So if you want to come up, hang out with a bunch of great people, drink some beer, eat some food, and even hear some stories from some Yotes key people like players, former players, personnel, broadcasters, etc. It'll be a great time. And then Thursdays are our draft party, but that's sold out, so that doesn't even matter.
Yeah, get in line on that one for next year.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're going to talk Arizona basketball, obviously. Tobe Awaka, who I was stumbled across Murph. We'll keep giving him grief about this. But first, KJ Lewis is declared for the draft. Saul, he's maintaining his eligibility. I still do not like it. I understand what he's doing for as a kid, but from selfish reasons, I do not like it just because I don't like when they start poking and prodding around and when you're a good athlete. I don't like it.
Well, I don't have a problem with it. Listen, if he goes, he goes, and you can't control that. You got to do what's best for you. I think it bothers me more when players transfer out rather than go to the NBA. You go to the NBA, that's a dream, man. I don't hate a kid. I'm not going to hate on a kid for that. Not saying that you're hating on him. I'm just saying I
agree with what he's doing. I'm just saying I don't like it.
For KJ Lewis specifically, his skill sets are, again, he finds himself in between positions. Is he a shooting guard? Is he a small forward? He's a little too small to be a power forward, obviously. And he's almost a little too small to be a small forward. So he's kind of that tweener in between positions. So going to the NBA draft, getting assessed on what your skill sets are and what they think of you can only give you a better idea of what you should be attacking in the offseason to help yourself get prepared for this time next year. And so I'm absolutely fine with that. I encourage him to do that. I think it's a great thing for him. And I think it's a great thing for us because they're going to tell him some things that he's going to have to work on, like his ball handling, his shooting from the outside, the perimeter, and staying out of foul trouble type things. And he's going to take that. He's going to work out in the summer. He's going to get better, and he's going to be better for us. So it's great all the way around.
This is one of those ones where sometimes it makes sense, or you can make more dollars by making sense, because this is very, very good. It's like I've made up this, even though I did it. But here's the thing. I believe that, yes, you could be an NBA player, but like Lude always said, it's about getting to that next contract. And if he were to come back, you're looking at a guy who would be a guaranteed lock first-round pick because he got a lot of stuff going for him. Right now, you kind of worry, do you get lost in translation? He's not really a ball handler yet. He also he's also not a great outside shooter. Physically, he's a freak. He's incredibly strong. There's a lot to like about his game. But, it just makes a lot of sense for him to come back. That's all I'm saying.
No, it does make sense for him to come back because they always say that your biggest jump in your career is to going from your freshman to your sophomore year because you learn so much during that year. And I even think physically he can go to another level as well. He's a very athletic kid and he can jump out the gym, but I think he can even get a little bit more explosive, to be honest with you. I think he's got, he's got to work on his overall offensive game.
Right.
We're talking about, being able to use your body to take a step back and get your shot off, hitting the perimeter three when given the opportunity more consistently, finding and picking those times to really drive and assert yourself within the offense and being dominant. And I don't think he really had a lot of that opportunity this year, obviously because of the other players that were on the roster. But He's got a tremendous opportunity to really prove himself next year and lock himself. I don't even think it's necessarily about whether he would get drafted. I think if he does it right, we're talking about somebody that could be a lottery pick.
I agree totally. Because again, he's a hard worker. He checks off all the boxes. And he's got a real knack for the basketball. He's just always kind of around the place. And that's something you either have or you don't. Saul, did you have that, by the way? Were you always around the basketball?
No, actually, I was always at the top of our 1-3-1 in high school, so I always like to kick the ball.
All right. Well, again, Saul, did you have a background in soccer as well?
I did not.
Okay. Now, all right. So again, KJ Lewis, wish him the best, but wish that he would come back for my reason.
He will, Mike. He
All
will.
right. All
Positive
right.
thoughts,
Home
man.
Open is calling, and we're time stamping this right now at 5:51 on Tuesday. What is it?
Mike loves time stamping my
Well,
comments.
very much do. Very much do. All right. Now, Tobe Awaka. I am all in on Tobe Awaka. I stumbled onto this recruiting visit, by the way. I was at Culinary Dropout, and in comes Murph and Tommy Lloyd and crew. Murph saw me, looks away, pretends that he doesn't see me. And I said, Murph, I see you. And then he just looks and he's like, all right. So, anyways, they're sitting down. I'm trying to figure out who this kid was because I had no clue who he was because he wasn't on any. And so I'm taking pictures. I'm like, who is this guy? So we found out it was Tobe Awaka. He was there with Jaden Bradley. And then I went up to Murph and I was like, Murph, you need to tell me about these things instead of ignoring my text messages. And he's like, all right, just don't say anything. So, anyways, I like this kid a lot, Saul. You look at his numbers at Tennessee, he played only 13 minutes per game last year, but he also had, when you get 6 points, 5 rebounds, he was a uber efficient player. Now, I generally despise the per 48 dweebs. I can't stand those people generally, but I like this kid a lot. I think he could play a small ball 5. I think he can play the 4. I want him here on campus. And I also don't care that he didn't score a lot because Rick Barnes' teams generally don't have a lot of guys that score the ball.
No, they don't. But defensively, they're always pretty solid.
Yes.
They're one of the best defensive teams in the country, and that's in their DNA. And listen, I think UConn is starting to shift the model a little bit. You know, they're starting to show that like it's not always about the offensive play. It's about can you get guys that can lock in defensively, be connected, and play at a very, very high level. And I will say this: now that Kylan Boswell's gone. Jaden Bradley, KJ Lewis are kind of the identity of this team because you don't know what's going to happen with Caleb Love, and they're defensive-minded players.
Yep.
Make no bones about that.
Big 12 type players.
Yeah, bringing in Awaka meets that mold. It definitely does. And listen, Awaka is not a small guy. He is built
very large.
He's a big dude, physical, good around the basket. Has a lot of holes in his game, though. Let's not mince words on that. He's not very good at mid-range or outside shooting at all. Matter of fact, he didn't even take a single 3 all year last year. Not even a fluke half-court shot or anything like that. The buzzer. But I will say the most promising thing is his free throw shooting did increase by quite a bit. I think about like almost 30%. Year over year from like 46 to 72, which is really, really good. It tells you that that was something he worked on. And for this team, I think, you still need scores. Don't get me wrong. And if Caleb Love comes back, that's going to be very, very good. But I think defensively was the thing that you just really needed to shore up, especially after losing Ballo. And Krivas is going to be a little bit of not a turnstile on defense, but he's not as
adept Dikembe Mutombo
as Ballo was, right? And so you need somebody else to help with that. And I think this would be a good option.
It would be a very good option. Now, again, Tennessee really wants him back. Something that was interesting. So I was perusing the Tennessee message boards the other day, and they prefer, a lot of these people want him back over James Ido, who is not a U of A target, Saul Bookman. Just so you know, not a U of A target.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I just thought that was fascinating, though. So we'll keep you abreast of that situation, though. But it is fluid, our favorite term when we were talking about recruiting, fluid. Because here's how this works, Saul. When I say something's fluid, if it turns out to be right, I can claim all the credit. And if it doesn't turn out to be right, I can say, told you, it didn't matter. I just told you it was fluid. Now, another thing that we need to talk about here is it's become fairly apparent through, behind the scenes, that Joson Sanon and Caleb Love will not both be on the team next year. This will be because Sanon was essentially sold that if Caleb Love comes, or, we expect Caleb Love to move on, but that was before Caleb Love started having some second thoughts. I get people all the time that'll say, well, who do you want? Saul Bookman. To me, it's easy. You take the guy that's the All-American, period.
Is it that easy, though?
Yeah, it is that easy. Come on. It is that easy. Make the case the other way, Saul. I can see.
I'm not going to make the case the other way. I won't do it because I have seen Love at the college level play at a very high level. So I'm not going to make the case against Caleb Love. I think if he comes back, it's a win. That's a W. I do like Sanon's athleticism. His build is a little bit better than Caleb's. He's a little taller. He's a little longer. He's a little bit more athletic. So that's great. But again, you just don't know how those guys are going to develop at the college level. So, you know, he comes in here, he might be an afterthought. He might be somebody that doesn't get a lot of minutes because he just can't adjust. I don't know. So I'm going to go with the sure thing. That's not a knock on Sanon. It's just, I know what I see with Caleb because I've seen it. And I haven't seen it with Sanon, so I'll go with the thing that I know.
I thought you hit the nail on the head last time you had on. Saul, you hit many nails on the head. You're also a handyman. This is true. Somebody one time told you were not a handyman, and you never forgot this.
I did.
All right. But I thought you made a great point about Caleb Love. I think the next step, there's another step that he can reach. He is never going to be a great shooter. He's going to be a streaky shooter. That's just not going to be in the cards. He's never going to be like 44%. But Saul, what I need him to be able to do is I need him to be able to increase the efficiency, but I also need him to be able to get to the basket a little bit more and get to the free throw line. I've been saying this all off season. I'm going to continue to say it. I want 6 free throws per game out of Caleb Love because he can get to the hoop. It's not like he's one of these stiffs that can't get to the basket. He can get to the basket. That to me is the next step for him, where you go from being kind of that, sporadic, really good player to one that you can really, really rely on even when the shot isn't falling.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree. I think one of the happy accidents from last year's tournament run was, especially against, why am I forgetting? Clemson, was when the outside shot was not falling. The only success that Caleb Love had was taking it to the basket. And there's multiple times where he got fouled and got to the hoop, and he was aggressive. And I like that Caleb Love. I need a healthy balance. Now, I also, listen, Mike, I would push back on this thought that he can't be, a high 30s, 40% three-point shooter. I think he has to be if this team wants to win an Addy. I really do, because I don't think the Caleb Love from last year – I'm sorry. I still don't think that this team would have won the national championship. I don't think they would have beat a team like UConn because he wasn't consistent enough from the perimeter. So you needed to either have hot Caleb to beat UConn or you were going to lose to UConn.
Right.
And I don't like that thought. I want consistency from Caleb. And I think that's what you're looking for next season is, can he be that guy that's consistently gets you 3 out of 7 or 3 out of 8 every game from three, and if you can do that, you're cooking with grease.
So to Germany, I did not see this latest tweet. Was this just recently? Because if it's just recently, I would like to see this. But Sanon, really, we were talking about Sanon yesterday, and a lot of people made this point that Sanon is the guy that he feels like the first kind of one and done, really, of the Tommy Lloyd era, and that you look at him just on paper. From like you mentioned, from a build, from a physicality, from an athleticism perspective, he looks like the kind of guy that comes in here for a year and then bounces. I'm not saying that's the way it is, but he does look like that type of player. Either way, I am totally okay with either one, but I would prefer Caleb Love, and so we will find that one out. We're probably going to find that one out sooner than later.
So here's something interesting for you, Mike. This is what he tweeted 2 hours ago. Just to clarify, although classing up to 2024 is an option, I remain committed to the University of Arizona in the class of 2025.
Oh, I did not see.
Do you want your cake and eat it too?
Dude, take your time, Joson. Continue to marinate, continue to get better. We got a spot right for you, right next to us on the bus. Take your time and get better. I love that. That to me, you talk about having your cake and eating it too. That's fantastic. Now,
that's the best all the way, all around scenario that could have worked out for you,
Mr. Tyler Warden. Now, great point. The concern with Sanon being is that he can decommit, but he can decommit at any time, though. It's one of those things. For Arizona, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Now, Saul, you're up there in Phoenix. Have you seen Koa Pete at all?
I have not. Not actually.
I get asked about Koa Pete every single day. I tell people this from day one. I have no inside information on Koa Pete. He's really, really good. He can go wherever he wants. They keep it close to the vest. It's a family that's been through the process. Obviously, the brothers in the NFL, 2 other brothers played in Division I football. They know what they're doing. We will find this one out sooner than later. All right, now.
What are we finding out? Whether or not he wants to come here?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's like with Elijah Arenas. You could tell me that he's going to go to Manatee State or he's going to come to the U of A, and I could see either one. Just I have no clue on that. I wish I knew though. That would.
You know what makes me laugh is when ASU folks around here are like, "Oh, Bobby Hurley's recruiting Pete really hard." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Good luck selling him on that program. No NIL in that facility. Come on, man. What are we talking
Did you
about?"
read the Wilner article about ASU and the funding for basketball? Dude, Saul, I came away like thinking, man, dude, Bobby Hurley, like a sympathetic figure.
Dude, I do not discredit that at all. That athletic program and their support of men's basketball is atrocious.
Yeah.
It's atrocious. The fact that Bobby Hurley has even made it this far is like, dude, you can't fire that guy. If you fire that guy, you're not going to find some suitable replacement to come in here and get half of what they would have gotten in any other place. Literally any other place. You could go to Utah State, and they probably have a better setup than ASU does. ASU is in a very, very bad spot. I don't have any sympathy about that because they did it to themselves. But again, when we're talking about, I just laugh because when the FBI investigation was going on, Mike, and all these ASU fans were all up in our business, I said, hey, be careful with that because this is all cyclical. This shit goes around and comes around every single time. So you guys stop. And what happened? A year later, boom, they get hit with a bunch of infractions, and now they are on 5-year probation because of all the stuff that Herm Edwards says. Like this all goes around. So,
but if you were to listen to some folks in the Valley, it's not Herm Edwards' fault though that he was forced to do all of those.
Listen, first of all, Mike, let's be real. Nobody listens to that clown and his writing. Nobody. That shit is just so so bad.
That was wild. That was wild. All right, but one thing that I can say, Bobby Hurley. I talked with Bobby Hurley once, and he seemed like a very good guy. I will say this: he also struck me as part of the inner circle. Would you say that he's probably part of the inner circle?
Maybe up here in Tempe.
Yeah, I would assume so. Now, Saul Bookman, you are also part of the inner circle. This is correct.
I am.
Okay. Here's the deal. Now, you might say to yourself, where can I see Saul Bookman? You can find him at many places, sometimes at the Gila River Casino, like I saw a couple weeks ago, and I'm delivering Jacob Franklin's extension court. Well, that sounded terrible. But when either way, the Inner Circle, though, check it out. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. There's a reason there's a Circle K right across from the U of A. It is there for a reason. And Illegal Pete, Saul Bookman. I have got to get the PHNX Coyotes crew. You talk about living legends. I kid you not. I went there to watch the.
Did you?
I was there, yeah.
Did you come out to Illegal Pete's?
Yeah, no, dude.
Okay.
It is. Listen, there are some things that you just can't properly describe in life. The devotion that fan base has for that coverage and vice versa is, dude, like it was second to none. You had easily 50 plus people there who came down from Phoenix for this. And Saul, now Illegal Pete's is a great spot. They're obviously going there to get some really good food as well. But man, it was really. Let me get the read out of the way, and then we will talk about that for a second. Illegal Pete's is here to bring you a win with their legendary sound check deal. Bring in your ticket stub from any ticketed event and get a draft beer or a house margarita for a penny. Illegal Pete's wants to celebrate with you, whether it's a pregame or a postgame party. They got you covered on all your game day needs. Must purchase an adult entree to redeem Illegal Pete's sound check deal. Illegal Pete's, your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Saul was amazing, though. I knew that, Craig Morgan is a legend. Leah is awesome. Obviously, Petey, great coach. But just seeing it in Tucson was just remarkable. I can't really even quite put it into terms. It was
the takeovers have been phenomenal. That Coyotes community has been phenomenal. And listen, that's what we're trying to build here with your show and your community, right? We've done events up here in Phoenix. We've tried to take over sections of Desert Financial Arena when U of A came up here to play ASU in basketball. Same thing for football. And I'm saying, like, if we want to do those kind of things, we want to get together, you want a one-stop shop place to be able to hang out with a bunch of your fellow Wildcat fans, like, we got to do these things more often, and we got to get more people to come out and do them. And I'll say this too, for those of you who might be wondering, like, I don't give a shit about any profit at all. The thing with this is like we're trying to build the community up because we'll get ours down the road. I don't give a shit. But right now it's about getting everybody together in one spot, enjoying U of A sports and really cheering for our Wildcats. That's the thing, right? And we're trying to build that more. So that's why we need more people in the Die Hard Discord, because that's where a lot of information, like today, for instance, just so you all know, because of the Suns Discord and how involved and how passionate they've been, I decided, you know what? On Tuesday, we don't really have anything set for a watch party. We're going to do a watch party, and it's going to be Die Hard only, and you got to RSVP. And once you RSVP, the deadline was last night. Then literally I'm going to serve up a bunch of food and drinks, and we're going to watch the game together. And it's not a single dime out of their pocket. You know what I mean? And that's the type of thing we want to do for our diehards. So like, you got to become a PHNX diehard, rep Mike's show, the AZ Wildcats podcast, and let's do this, man.
Let's do it. Now, speaking of something else that we had to talk about, Arizona football, Saul Bookman. I am I am getting more and more bullish on this team. We're going to go position by position, but don't worry. The great Erika Day is going to be joining us. By the way, look at Erika Day breaking Arizona women's basketball recruiting offers that nobody has out there. Erika with her hands in many fire. Is that the term, hands in fires? No, that sounds, what is the, it's something like that. Either way. Okay. All right. But you got to give Brent Brennan a lot of credit, because I think everybody thought that, this roster, that there would be people that would go. And again, they could still happen. But Saul, so far, so good. This is nobody of real note. Again, BBN was a loss, but that was also a culture loss as well. But that's more off the field. So Arizona, you got to give Brennan a lot of credit. Whatever they're selling right now, these guys are certainly taking it, because a lot of these guys would have a lot of options.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. And I think if they would have left, they would have gone already.
I agree.
In my opinion, like, I think, if you're talking about, guys like Fish that are, behind the scenes trying to do whatever they are going to do, then you would assume that within the first couple of days of the portal, these guys would have bounced. Right. And taking those offers. And so that's a testament to those guys, for real. Like, they have, Brennan has definitely gotten something into their heads about staying together and being a family. And I don't know if you could have possibly found another coach that could have done that. Yes, I really don't.
I would agree with that. Now, let's go position by position. We're going to talk about this. Noah Fifita, the man, the myth, the legend, not the myth, the legend. Irons in the fire. You're right. Tyler McDowell, the great Tyler McDowell, also sent a super snap $5 donation to once Erika Day made her first appearance on the show. Very good work there. All right, Noah Fifita. We know what Noah is. All I'm going to say is this. I'd like to see something at the backup quarterback situation, because I don't want to have to bring in Jeff Sims. I want to be able to bring in I want somebody that if they go out there, a Trenton Bourguet type, where I like Trenton Bourguet a great deal, somebody that for a game or two could be kind of a bridge. Still kind of looking for that. But Noah Fifita, you cannot get hurt. We do not want you getting hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be in a tough position if Noah gets hurt. Right. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Now, he's pretty crafty. He's kind of like Kyler, where he tries to self-preserve in certain moments. For me, for Fifita, it's take what you learned in year one and expound on it. Now, as a position group, I would probably rate them as like a B or a C, because if Fifita goes down, you're in a shit world of trouble. Right. So that's why I would say a B or a C. Now, is Fifita one of the best quarterbacks in the country? By a mile, not even close. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the country, and certainly a top 3 in his own conference for sure. So I think that's where I would grade them.
All right. Now, Joseph, the great Joseph, he says, Dorman is better than Bourguet. Come on, Mike. All I'm going to say is this, is I've seen Bourguet be a fairly competent backup quarterback. I like Bourguet. I don't want him to play the whole season, but those are the kind of backup quarterbacks that I want. I would love to be wrong.
Listen, I know what you're trying to do here, Mike, and you're trying to save you're trying to save the Marana kid. And I love Bourguet. He and I have a great relationship. I followed him at Marana. I wrote a couple articles on him. I think he took a giant step backwards last year, and I don't know where he's at now, because the way he played against us in the rivalry game 2 years ago versus last year, it was night and day. It was night and day. And so I think Dorman is the better option at backup. He knows the system. He's been here. He's familiar with it. And listen, man, there's something to be said about guys that pay their dues.
We have some very good news in the running back backfield. So we're going to talk about Fam Speedy Luke in a second, but there's also going to be a Fam 2.0 in the backfield. Caden Luke from CDO. Caden Luke is one of the largest kids that I have ever seen as far as a high school player. Looks like he can bench 450 pounds. He's a preferred walk-on. Very, very excited about him, Saul. The coaching staff has plans for him. Chuck Cecil is a big fan of his as well. Possibly a Thunder and Lightning backfield of FAM 1.0 and FAM 2.0 to go along with a Quali Conley and stuff like that. The backfield, you got to add a player. I don't know if you saw the Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt stuff that we broke.
I did not.
Oh, well, I put this out on Twitter. So this is a bizarre story. So he decommitted. He went to Ole Miss. He does not appear has eligibility because at Alabama State, they counted him as a red shirt, even though he played 9 games. So that does not count as a red shirt. Texas A&M found out about this. Arizona found out about this. And I would imagine that Ole Miss has found out about this because they just added another running back. That's the kind of stuff you get. But either way, got to add a running back. I like the backfield, though, especially with FAM 2.0 coming in here. What do you say about the running back situation there? Because I know you're a big fan of FAM. Big fan.
Oh yeah, huge fan. They have a good opportunity to really be some of the best in the country for sure. You need somebody that's big because after losing Jonah Coleman, who was kind of that bulky, I can run over you, I can run around you type of back. You need somebody that's going to replace that, and so obviously Rayshawn Luke is going to be fantastic. The other guys, you got some question marks about them because you haven't really seen them do it at this level yet. So I'm not concerned. I'll wait to see what happens during the season, but I would say that this isn't as dominant a backfield as it used to be.
For sure. You got to add some pieces. Now, a guy to keep an eye on from Toledo, Penny Toon, a great name. I just like the tune of it. I like the sound of it. Penny Toon. Check him out. He's going to be very interesting. Can Flo carry the ball? No. Everybody wants Justin Flo to be a receiver, a running back, none of that. Also, Saul, I've been asked this 3 times, and I had somebody DM me asking this. I've got a question for the great Saul Bookman, totally off topic. The DeAndre Ayton trade. Everybody wants to know, what is your the move? What is your take on it in hindsight?
You mean like right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it was good.
Yeah,
I think it was good. I think he ran his course here, and he was never going to be able to be the face of the franchise, nor did he deserve to be. And listen, you know me, I've been a huge DeAndre Ayton fan. Love the kid so much. I think his personality is second to none. He got a raw deal because of his personality up here to start, but the inconsistency, the lack of effort, and really the lack of heart, that was the most disappointing. That's when I was finally like, okay, we need to trade this dude because it just isn't working.
It just is what it is.
His lack of heart was just, it was, he has so much talent. Yeah. And it's just really disappointing when you see guys like that can't come through.
I agree. All right, now the wide receiver position. Oh, by the way, we see Erika Day warming up in the bullpen behind the scenes. The wide receiver position, very much. I love the wide receiver position. I wouldn't mind getting an Elijah Badger if he were to. Now, listen, he's got a lot of money that people are going to be talking to, or a lot of people are going to be giving him a lot of money. But I like Elijah Badger. But T-Mac, awesome. Malachi Riley, Kevin Green, I think they're ready to step up. Montana Lamonius Craig. I like this unit. This is the epitome to me, though, Saul, of working guys in and saying, okay, now's your time. And I think that's what you're going to see this year.
I think this is the best position group on the team.
I agree.
I think all the way around, you've got stability there at every position. So I'm cool with that. Now, in regards to Elijah Badger, listen, it's going to take you a lot of money to get him. Yep. It just is. Yep. And for those of you who don't know, I have got it from a very, 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 very good source that he was offered, north of a mid six-figure deal to go to Minnesota. So if Minnesota is trying to pony up dollars like that, you can only imagine. Yeah. I guess Minnesota would have to do that because nobody wants to play in Minnesota. Come on.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's disgusting. But either way, with or without him, we do not need him, but we would embrace him if he came here. That's
a million percent. Dude, what kind of villain story would that be? Oh, I would love that.
And he's buddies with Bobby Wade. I know that they get along very well. So I'm just saying something to keep on the back burner. I agree with you, Saul. Unlikely. Because listen, when Texas A&M comes calling, when Alabama comes calling, they have a lot of money. But I am saying there's a chance, Jedi Force. But again, very fluid.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, Mike. And the reason why I will say that is because he did not want to leave ASU. He was committed. So he got that Minnesota offer in the first round of the portal, and he declined it. He didn't want anything to do with it. He didn't want to go to Minnesota. And he liked what Kenny was trying to do here. Now, after multiple guys left that program, I think he started to see like, hey, if I'm really going to do something with my career and get to the next level, I don't think I can play with any of these quarterbacks to get me there. So let me find. I think what he's going to do is I think he's going to find another spot that has a good quarterback. Well, if you're looking down the road in Tucson, that's about as good a quarterback as you can find to fit your stuff. So hopefully.
And if you're looking to a place too that's got a receiver that could maybe take a little bit of pressure off you, I mean, we got one of those as well.
I will also say this. If he signed with Arizona, there's a very, very good chance he would be one of our first U of A NIL athletes.
Oh, very good. Very good. Now, the offensive line, Arizona returns 4 or 5 starters. This is maybe the one that I'm most impressed by because Wendell Moy was somebody that is clearly, other schools have clearly been in on. Jonas Avenea is the best offensive lineman. He's going to be a first-round pick, but he is doing very, very well in the lady department, which is an underrated quality when it comes to players sticking around. It just is. When you got a girlfriend, when you got somebody like that, it's harder to leave. Jonas Avenea has said no to everybody. I am committed to the A and to my girlfriend. But Wendell Moy was somebody that I think a lot of people thought, it's probably going to end up in Washington. Arizona's held the line. 4 or 5 starters coming back. Saul, this is, to me, is the unit where it's like, oh, all right. Because I thought that they were going to lose a couple of these guys. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I agree. Everything you said, I agree with. It's a solid unit. They lost Jordan Morgan, and that sucks. But he's going pro. What are you going to do? Right. And so you got to shore up that end of the equation, obviously, because that's a vital position at tackle. So, I'm excited for this position group. I think offensively, I have less questions about the offense than I do the defense.
Right. Yes, I would agree that way. Okay. Why don't we get to the defense? But first, Saul, one thing that I have no questions about.
Wait, time out. AZ Wildcat fan said, Saul, how do we get Mike Luke a girlfriend so we can keep him at PHNX Tucson?
I do have a girlfriend.
Oh,
I have a girlfriend.
There it
for
is.
About 5 or 6 months now. So funny story about the great Saul Bookman. So Saul Bookman calls me up out of the clear blue on a Sunday. One time I was driving to Red Lobster to meet my family. And he's like, hey, Mike, what's up with that picture? And I was at Caliendo. And he goes, I said, yeah, I was at Caliendo. And he says, who was that next to you? And I'm like, that was my girlfriend. He's like, I had no clue. And he's like, then I showed my wife and I said, are these two together? And she's like, oh, clearly. So yes, we said, but so there. And she does watch from time to time. I will have her on. And no, she's not one of the Kia girls that stole one of my cars. So there you go. Breaking some news here on the AZ Wildcats podcast, but that's what we like to do. So defense. I agree with you, Saul. That's my question. Just across the board, because this is where Arizona really lost a lot. On the defensive line, especially. You lost. What was great about Arizona last year is that you didn't have maybe NFL talent, but you had a lot of really good players. Mm-hmm. Taylor Upshaw, Isaiah Ward, Deuce Davis, BBN, Big Bill Norton, Tia Savela, Tyler Manoa. They could just kind of keep coming at you in waves. Arizona doesn't really have, they got some of it back. You bring in Trey Smith from San Jose State. He's a good football player. You bring in Chuba May from UC Davis, like him a lot. But you've got some Tai Uiagalele's back. But, at the same stage, though, that's where the depth, it just isn't there that they had last year, period.
No, but you still have some solid players, though.
Yeah, you do.
You do have. Sure. And you have solid players at every single level, right?
Right.
On the
you do.
Defensive line, you have solid players, and at linebacker, you have solid players, and then you have, obviously your secondary. Traden Stukes, I think I think Traden Stukes transition from, unknown freshman coming in from Mesquite High School up here in Phoenix to captain last year, and now trying to take that next leap to make it to the NFL is something that I'm going to watch all year. I like what this team has on the defensive side of the ball, but I would agree with you. Like, linebacker wise is probably my biggest question. I think defensive line, they're going to be okay. At least they got the size, which is not something you could have said a long time ago.
No, especially when you were attending school here.
It's terrible. All those tweeners, man. So
did you ever think about trying out for the team at that point? A little bit of eligibility?
First of all, I don't have any eligibility left. Second of all, these knees would not have lasted one practice.
But you were younger back then.
I was only like 7 years younger, Mike.
But you were still younger. That's a lot, though. 7 years? That's a dog year.
No, that's like, if you add the military strain on this, I'm like 108 years old right now.
That is true. That is true. But you could also coach yourself, though, from the military perspective. So
yeah, no, I don't think coaches would have liked that.
That's a good point. You're like, coach, buzz off. I'm coaching myself right now.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. But you know what else? They also know what they're doing, Saul, is the BetMGM Sportsbook app.
True.
Now, let me tell you about this, Saul. I like the Suns to win. Now, I know it. Now, let me ask you this. I would assume Suns Nation is freaking out about the first game. Is this true?
Say it again. Sorry.
It's the Suns Nation is freaking out about the first game against the Minnesota Timberwolves?
I think it's like 60-40 in terms of not freaking out and freaking out. I don't think it's really as bad as everybody's making it out to be.
Good. I still like the Suns to win the series, and I will tell you this. I would go to the BetMGM Sportsbook app, and I would do it pronto. Now, you might say, Mike Luke, you're an idiot. Probably right. Go against me, though, but go to the BetMGM Sportsbook app. That's all that matters. Sign up for the BetMGM. Use code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app. For at least $10, you'll receive up to 1,500 bonus bets if the bet loses. Check out the show notes for details, and let's hear the precocious Shane Diefenbach with a disclaimer.
Bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
All right. Now, one other thing I got to tell you about, and then we're going to get to some Arizona women's basketball here. The Gila River Resorts and Casinos. So, I get there the other week, and I was going up to Phoenix to stay up there with my girlfriend. Wink, wink. But first, I had to stop by and say hello to Saul Bookman. I was bringing Jacob Franklin some property that was Jacob Franklin's, and I saw Saul Bookman up there at a Suns watch party. Now, when you're the Don like Saul, you sit there, and then people come to you. That's exactly the way it should be. But he was very open, though, about it. That's what we like about it, though.
Don't listen, Mike. Don't give people the wrong impression thinking that I'm like over here in this corner and you got to come up to me to say anything.
That's not it at all.
I'm constantly working the room, okay?
You were getting ready to work the room. You could tell, like I said, dude, nobody has ever gone to an event where Saul is, and they're like, man, Saul wasn't engaged. Saul is very, very social. This is true, Erika Day. Very good point. But the Gila River Resorts and Casinos, you know what I really like is still that wave. That little blue wave is one of the coolest things. You can see it from the highway. You also have a Gila River right by your house as well, a different one, though.
I do. Santan. The location's right here. Brand new. It's the newest of the Gila River Resorts and Casinos. It's fantastic.
All right. Now join again. You got to go join the Suns. The Suns obviously kill it. You can just tune into anything. And there's always like 10,000 lives immediately on it. And Gila River Resorts and Casinos is a big part of all of this. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Again, we got a watch party coming up again, Saul. Let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah, Friday, the 26th, 6:30 p.m. Come out to Gila River Wild Horse Pass. It's going to be a fun time for all. It's listen, even if you're not a Suns fan, if you just want to go watch the playoff game and hang out with some really, really cool people, this is the time to do it because this group of people is just phenomenal and it keeps growing day by day. It seems like every single event we add a couple more people that are diehards, and they keep coming out. And once you come to a watch party and you feel the enthusiasm and the excitement, you kind of get hooked.
You get hooked. Okay, now, speaking of which, enthusiasm, excitement, everything all wrapped into one, the bundle that is Erika Leah Day. Hello,
What's
Erika.
up, brothers? How's it going, everybody?
Are you in class?
Yeah, where are you?
No, I'm at my day job.
Why do you have a whiteboard behind you?
These are all the projects I'm managing right now.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought that was Adia's roster for next season.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sorry. It's actually a recruiting tracker.
Dude, Saul, have you seen on Twitter? She's amazing. Like, she's breaking stuff left and right about Adia's just offered so-and-so is like the 4th-rated player in the country, the 8th-rated player. Erika, fill us in. What do we need to know? Because Adia Barnes aims high in the recruiting world, as she should. Let's talk about this. Fill Saul Bookman in and myself on what we need to know, and everybody out there.
They just offered the 4th-rated recruit in the class of 2025 yesterday. Her name is Nyla Wilson out of, Thomas Dale High School. I believe it's in New York, if I'm not mistaken. And she drives a lot to the basket. She's a 6'1" guard. I think I saw somewhere she's listed at 5'10" and somewhere she's listed at 6 foot. Somewhere in the middle, I'm sure, is the more correct answer. But she drives to the rim a lot. It appears she plays a physical style of basketball, which is exactly what Adia shoots for. She's playing AAU right now, and that's where Adia recruited her. It looks like Bet and her, the assistant coaching staff, has been watching Nyla for a little while, and it does look like she plays defense, although most high schools don't. So, I don't know how much that'll stick and how. I don't know where she stands in the recruiting trail. She's got offers from South Carolina, Utah, UConn, Tennessee. I mean, all the big guys have offered her already. But I don't think we're out of the race. So take that for what it's worth. And we also offered Divine Barrage yesterday. Not sure too much. There's a lot less information about Miss Divine than there is Nyla. It looks like she is out of. Yeah, I'm not sure.
She's good.
Yeah, she's good though, and she's tall. Iowa. So we know those Midwestern girls love basketball and are committed to it. So I'm interested to see where the two land.
I'm always very intrigued by Erika and how she gets some of her information, because she knows every.
I have questions actually.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times you've talked about this here on this show, but I figured, now's as good a time as any to ask you a couple questions and see, what you know about this. First of all, I have heard that the NIL money and just money in general for the women's basketball program is not where you'd like to see it and able to compete with the big dogs in women's basketball, such as your South Carolinas, UConns, LSUs, so on and so forth. Is that something that you've heard as well?
Yeah. And I mean, the reality with women's basketball in general right now is if you win, you're going to get more NIL. So Adia Barnes has to kind of rebuild the program back to where it was a few years ago in order to see a huge difference in the NIL funds that they have right now.
Okay. And then here's a really big curveball, and I did not plan to do this, but it came to my head, and I've been thinking about this question, and I want to know, what is the status update? So I do know that Adia offered Jersey Robinson up here in Phoenix. Last year she offered her. And I know the family's been down there on campus. I think she's the top-rated player coming out here in 2 years. So 2026, I think, is her year. Any status updates on that?
No, and I don't think that Jersey's even given us a top 10 or anything like that. She's definitely taking a more well-rounded approach to recruiting, which is, I think, a huge shift you're going to see in the incoming few years in basketball. I think you're going to see a lot less kids transferring, a lot more kids just taking a longer time in order to choose a school, and it'll play out better for the kids in the long run, better for the programs in the long run. I think it's going to take a few years. Thank you, Tyler.
Hold on. Let me read the Super Snap real quick. I get excited by these. Tyler McDowell blank and a $4.99 Super Snap. Back the A. I love this trio. Erika, break the Kelsey Plum news to me. I remember a great Saul Bookman from the Daily Wildcat. BTFD.
Let's go, baby.
All right,
Truthfully, Tyler broke the Kelsey Plum news to me 4 months ago. He's been tracking whether or not a girl's been wearing a ring for 6 months now, and he was correct, and I was wrong. So when I saw it this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, Tyler, step in. But no, Jersey would be a really good get, and I love a local hometown kid, so I'm hoping that we're at least in the top 5 and still in the trail. But no news is good news, is what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, she's a dog, and if nobody's seen her play, you should take some time out. Yep. If she goes down to Tucson and plays Sal Point or something like that, you should definitely watch her, because she's like, to me, her style and her way of play, it just reminds me of like LeBron. She's physically dominant for her age. She can get any shot she wants. She can handle the ball. She can shoot from the outside. She's powerful at the rim. Like everything that you want in a basketball player, like Jersey Robinson has.
If you guys have watched Malaysia Fulwiley at South Carolina, kind of a similar play style, I think, where physicality it meshes
What
well
can
with
you
her
tell
game.
me, if anything, about Tylea Henderson from Sal Point? She has been offered by about everybody. She's a sophomore.
And her visit was rather secretive. I had to do a lot of digging to find that even she was on the visit. And same thing. Let's see. She has not offered a top 10 either, but
she's got a ton of offers, which in Tucson is pretty unique.
Right. Really a lot of offers. But same thing. I actually am intending to go to a few South Point games this year because there are quite a few kids that I've been watching since the 7th grade that are at South Point now. So I want to kind of keep up with them this year and see what's up. But I'll keep you posted on Tylea.
All right. I got to ask both of you a question here that I was thinking about when I was going over the show notes. Two people that are much smarter than me. Get in line. There's many people like that. But Arizona next year, Arizona women's basketball, what is the strength of the team? When things get, when the tire meets the anvil or whatever that term is.
The rubber meets the road?
Yeah. When the hammer meets the anvil. I don't know. Either way, Saul said it right. What is Arizona going to hang their hat on? What is going to be where they really excel? Saul and Erika, what say you?
It's always going to be defense. For Adia, it's always going to be defense. Mike, I'm kind of ashamed that you asked that question. Why would you not know that it's defense? Come on, man. I'm
asking more from a player perspective. Who is going to be that player besides Jada? Is there going to be another player that you look at, and that is because I think we all agree that Jada is going to be that one that takes that real step. Who is going to be that number 2 that when the chips are down, that can maybe take some pressure off? Or do we even know who that is yet?
Ryan is correct. It's Skylar. Skylar is going to take a huge defensive jump this year. She moved into Kaylin's starting position after Kaylin was departed from the team. And I think you see a huge jump from Skylar. Skylar's got length. Skylar's body is the best for defense that Adia has ever recruited. She's got length like no one else. Like her limb, and Sue is also correct about Montea Dew.
Sue Alexander, the great Sue Alexander. We appreciate it.
Yes, Sue is here.
Sorry, go ahead, Erika. I apologize.
No, it's okay. But yeah, I think Montea and Skylar are going to make the biggest differences in terms of defense this year.
What are you looking for, Saul?
I mean, that's probably the best answer. I think you might end up finding somebody in the transfer portal at some point too. There's still a little bit of time left. So right. I think Adia's trying to find it right now as well. They still got a lot of room to add to this roster. So I think it's a little too early.
The rumor on the street is that she's going after filling one more scholarship position. That leaves us with 14 on the roster for this upcoming season. And I'm okay if she doesn't fill out all 15 spots. She's talked about in the past why she doesn't like to fill 15, and it makes sense. So especially in the day and age of the transfer portal, I don't blame her for not wanting to fill all 15 spots.
As long as you don't have an influx of people leaving the program and leaving yourself with like 6 players total on the roster,
injuries,
then
right?
You're okay, yeah.
Hey, Saul, you want to know what a big deal Erika Elday is? So the first time that she made her debut on the AZ Wildcats podcast a couple weeks ago, we were at 174 lives. I kid you not. Within 3 minutes, that was boosted up to 211. Big news from Erika Elday. Erika Elday, you noticed this as well.
I sure did. I told Mike, I said, I am boosting viewership for you.
You are. You're doing a very good job, Erika. All right. Now,
I also would like to note that I also boosted viewership for the Sun Devils PHNX podcast yesterday. I won't get my credit for that. I was in the chat going crazy in there yesterday.
You did.
What not? You know?
She was asking me the background on everybody. She's like, is Totri a cool guy? And I was like, they're all cool guys. I said, they're all awesome people. And so Erika, I think, is going to be a more frequent visitor in the PHNX Sun Devils chat as well.
I try to stay away from that just because they have such an inferiority complex that I just don't like to deal with it.
They were scared of me.
Yes. Well, who isn't? Get in line. All right. Now, Saul Bookman, one more time. What do we got going on this week? Come on. We got a lot of good stuff going on.
All right, let's go in order. Tomorrow, Coyotes event, 4 Peaks, 7 o'clock. Drink some beer, hang out with a bunch of Coyotes fans, over 150. If you buy tickets or if you donate money, it all goes to the Arizona Cachinas, every last cent, to keep their hockey program alive and well. And then Thursday, we have a draft. That's sold out. So if you didn't get a ticket yet, sorry. And then Friday, we have a watch party at Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass. That starts at 6:30. Come hang out with Lindsay, Espo, myself, Flex, the whole crew. It's going to be fun. And that's what we got going on here in the short term. And then for everybody, we have the Keep It 100 tournament, golf tournament, May 10th. You got to come out. It's so much fun. You have an opportunity to win a prize on literally every single hole. And a little news drop. We have a Pit Boss grill that we're giving away. We have multiple GPS speakers that we're giving to the champions. We have hole-in-one contest, closest to the pin contest, multiple holes. We have longest drive for multiple holes. You have so many opportunities to win. These are all the people that won last year. It was a great event. Come check it out. And if you're a diehard, you get it at a cheaper rate. So let's go.
Another reason to become a diehard. Okay, just so you all know, the great Erika L. Day will be joining Saul Bookman and I every Tuesday and Thursday at 11. Make sure you mark down the calendar. And Sue, it is Ari McDonald. She was getting on you in the comments. You called her Ari, Saul.
I know. I corrected myself right after that, though.
You did. No, you did. He knew.
I said Ari, and I was like, I meant Ari, and I said it.
Yes, exactly. Sue, be nice. We like you a great deal.
I got you.
All right. Man, now, Saul, what do you guys got going on with the Suns today? I know you got other stuff going on with Suns. Come on.
Oh, we just have a watch party. It's a diehard only invite.
Can we get a prediction on the Suns game tonight, Saul Bookman?
Oh, I don't know, man. Road teams are 0-10 in the playoffs right now, man. The road teams are 0-10 right now in the playoffs, man. I'm going to say the Suns by 3.
Suns by 3. A win is a win come playoff time. That's all that matters. The Nuggets proved that last night. That is for sure. So, on that note, for Erika L. Day, the boss, Saul Bookman, I am merely Mike Luke, the great Jacob Franklin behind the scene, texting me before 7 a.m. Grr. We'll be back with you tomorrow. You have been, and everybody out there.
And Erika, you didn't say Erika.
Oh, I did say Erika. I definitely said Erika.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Saul Bookman. Okay. Come on. There's many things to get on me about. Not giving attribution to a guest is not one of them, though. All right. Everybody out there, you are fantastic. Appreciate you all. You're smarter than me. I rely on you. We will be back with you tomorrow, 10:30. You've been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.